Okay, before you start booking your travels for 2020, there are a few things that you should have in order. Our travel expert, Tania is here with her list of important tips, advice, and everything else. Tania, good morning.
Good morning.
People who are a hot mess of planning and organization like me need somebody like you.
Yes.
Okay, you recommend getting everything ready now if you plan to travel this year,
That's
right?
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What's the first tip? I'm taking notes.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff that you have to get into before you travel. One
Okay.
of them, the first one, the most obvious, is get a passport.
Get a passport.
Right? Make sure, a lot of people don't realize they go on, they plan everything, and at the last moment they're heading out the door and their passport's expired. Make sure that you know where your passport is. Make sure that you have a passport is a huge one too.
This next global entry thing?
Yes.
We just looked into it like 2 seconds ago. I was like, oh man.
No, it's actually super easy to get.
Is it?
TSA is pre-check. So this is done by the
Right.
government to approve passengers of flights before you get on. So you don't have to go through the security lines. Global entry is when you come back.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
that's a big one.
How long does it take to do? Because that takes planning, obviously.
That
if you're
takes a
leaving
lot
in
of
6
planning.
weeks, you can't do it now?
Getting a passport, for example, takes 6 to 8 weeks, and you can
Okay.
apply online. Renewing it, you can apply by mail.
Okay.
Getting TSA or getting global entry takes a lot more because they have to look into your background.
The background checks and all
That's
that.
right.
Okay. How can you find out like what countries require a visa, what countries do not?
Correct. So by 2021, Americans will need a visa to go to Europe. But many
Really?
countries, many countries like China and Russia and whatnot, you need a visa to go to. So you need to apply at least 30 days in advance.
Okay.
We have a website called CIBT Visas that we recommend. All the links, by the way, are on your website.
Perfect.
And you can check if you need a visa to go to any of these countries.
Okay, tip 2, we were talking about the TSA pre-check, obviously. How important is it? Because is this for people who travel all the time? Or people, maybe if you travel once a year? Or is it worth it if you're only traveling a couple times?
It's worth it because it makes everything just easier. So
Right.
if you get global entry, it includes TSA pre-check and all
Okay.
Sentry and whatnot, especially us living here in Southern California.
Okay.
So is it worth it? I believe it is.
Yeah.
It just makes everything easier and it takes the stress and anxiety out of travel.
Oh, which I have. So I should have gotten, okay. No, I'm learning as I go. Tip number 3, this is the loyalty programs, and everybody has these now, right? It's a matter of picking the right one for you.
And make sure that you do it because it's free.
Right.
So, for example, if you're going to be traveling, even if you travel a little bit and you want to go on airlines, make sure
Okay.
that you look into, for example, if you have American Airlines, sister airline is British Airways or Japan. But also for hotels, Marriott right now owns over 6,900 hotels worldwide.
Yeah.
So if you join their loyalty program called Marriott Bonvoy, then you can get perks at each of these hotels. For example, the St. Regis, which has hotels all over the world. You get early check-in, you get free perks, upgrades, and of course, when you accumulate points, you get free nights.
It gets better and better.
That's right.
I love that. Okay, tip number 4, long-term travel planning. Okay, what do you mean here? Like planning out a year in advance type of thing?
No, I'm talking about first of all, if you don't have a travel advisor, get one.
Yes.
Simply because they will guide you through.
I'm on board with that because I've given up trying to figure this out on my own.
And it's all about long-term travel planning.
Sure.
So where are you going to go in the next 5 years? And if you have a family, it makes it a lot more sense because then you don't have to go at the last moment, oh my goodness, where are we going for Easter? Oh my
Sure.
goodness. You save money, you save time, you go during the best seasons, and you get what you want at the best rate possible. So you plan out, you get a map, you plan out where do you want to go in the world, and you pick and choose depending on the seasons, depending on the years, and anticipation many times is sometimes even better than the trip itself.
That's very true, very true. Tip number 5, insurance. A lot of people kind of cheap out and they're like, I don't want to get this insurance because I'm pretty sure I'm going to go anyway, but things always come up that you don't expect, right?
Absolutely, as we've seen. And you don't expect things like losing your luggage or things like not being able to go because someone passes away.
Sure.
Or what's happening in the world. And so insurance covers much more than just medical. It covers interruptions and things that are unfortunately that you're not able to plan for.
Okay.
So, and check with your credit card because your credit card covers a lot of these stuff as well.
Right.
So it helps you with global entry, it helps you with insurances and whatnot.
So now I got to plan out 5 years. Where am I going to take the family in 2020?
Yeah, there you go.
4 or 5.
Make them global citizens.
Oh my God, I might have teenagers by then, Tania. I'm not ready. For a list of all the websites and all the information Tania talked about, you go to fox5sandiego.com, click the Scene On tab. Let's travel.
Let's
Tania,
travel.
thank you.
Yes.
Nothing like it.